Live for Dark PC Studios in Eddyville, Kentucky. It's time for another episode of the Dark PC's Evolution of Survivor Strategy. Tonight, Captains Bobby, John, and Stephanie from Survivor Cloud return. The first immunity idol and the kind of first celebrity with a former Dallas Cowboy who comes in to play the game of Survivor. And Daddy somehow surprises everybody and is able to win the game. All that and more on this episode of the Evolution of Survivor Strategy. Your host, Dark. Hello, Easy Nation. Welcome to, this is Chapter 11 of the Evolution of Survivor Strategy. I am titling this episode, or this chapter, Chapter 11, Captains, First Idol, and Too Much Backstabs. So this was a very interesting season of Survivor Guatemala because, at this point, I remember most of the seasons pretty dang good. So I remember a lot of the events that happened. There were some things that I don't remember 100%, but Guatemala was always one of those seasons I really did enjoy. I don't think it goes down as one of the greatest seasons of Survivor, but overall, I do think it's a very enjoyable season. So let's get right to it. So this season, we start off, we have the tribes, they're divided into 16, there are 16 castaways, divided into 8 members each. Well, there's 2 more people that show up, and that's from season Palau. We have Bobby John and Stephanie return to play the game one more time. And, it was kind of cool to see the 2 come back because, the Survivor Palau really should have been a really boring season with one tribe getting decimated by the other. But the characters of Stephanie and Bobby John were just so endearing, and you really root for those characters so much that it was kind of good that they got a second chance to try to maybe make the merge and actually have a shot at the game. So it was kind of cool to see them 2 come back. And the first challenge is they have to hike 11 miles in the Guatemalan rainforest, or not rainforest, but area, and to try to get the better camp. And it is one of the hardest challenges you could ever start out of the season. And you could totally tell from the Yaxter tribe or the Nakub tribe that all these buff guys like Bobby John and Judd and I forget what the guy's what name was, but they were all completely decimated, and Bobby John's eyes was rolling back. One of the toughest survivors we've ever seen at this point in the show, and for him to be down on his back was just kind of telling of how tough this season really was. And, the environment's terrible. I mean, these seasons, which, we don't see anymore, is these locations where they're not next to, the ocean, so you can't go out spear fishing. So you're relying on these little, minnows, things they were catching, the corn they were eating. And so that was really the season of, it makes it a little more harder on the body is one way to look at it and everything. So, it starts off, the challenges and everything, and Stephanie, you feel bad for Stephanie because she wins the first immunity challenge, okay, but then they get decimated in the next 4 challenges, and they're like, oh god, here it goes again. But this time around they kind of do a kind of try swap up, where they were doing kind of popularity, where basically every person on Stephanie's tribe, half of them went over to the other side. So it was kind of interesting to see that going on. And then Bobby John and all of them, who was kind of really playing really good. So Bobby John probably got screwed in this twist because he was on the winning tribe. They had the better people, and he got swapped to the other tribe. And and then even then though, you really did feel like that Bobby John's tribe was playing better. But at the end, when we get to the merge, it goes down to 6-4. There are 6 members of the new Nakun tribe, and then 4 members of the Yaxter tribe. And there were some very interesting strategy moments in this season. Before I want to get to the merge, though, one of the big moments was when they did the double tribal council, which they've been doing for a few seasons at this point, and basically they kind of introduced like the first kind of hidden immunity idol twist in this, where basically Rafe had one individual immunity which kept him safe at that tribal council where Margaret were at home. Well, Rafe had to write in an envelope, put it in the urn. If he had voted Brian, Bobby John goes home, most likely. So, I guessing that's how they would have done it, but what if Brian had been voted out? Would they have to revote? Or, so we really don't know, but that was kind of the first inkling of what would be the modern day hidden immunity idol kind of thing, or maybe the super idol, which we will see in the next season of Survivor. So yeah, we get to the merge, and at the merge, we find this note basically saying that the note basically says there's a hidden immunity idol hidden your camp. It acts just like a regular immunity. You give it before the votes are cast, which means that it's just like the immunity necklace. If you play this idol, you are safe from the vote, which means you can't vote for that person. So, different from what modern day idols, and we've actually never seen this version of the immunity idol since this, because this is probably the weakest version of the immunity idol, because you can only play it before the people are actually voting. So it acts like a regular immunity necklace, but it can be used all the way up to the final four. But so once we get to the merge, the Bobby Josh side basically gets decimated. Bobby Josh appeals to Stephanie. He says, please, I'm not asking for much. I know it's a lot to ask. I'm not going to promise you final two or final things, but please just let me get to the jury. Let me go further than I did last time. And she's like, I understand. She says, I will do what I can. You know what? You see that little bit relationship between the two. Also, I want a little bit to talk about Bobby John. I really enjoyed the rivalry between him and Jamie. I thought that was fun because Jamie was a complete ass, and the moment when they're doing the boners and they're getting right in each other's faces, it's like one of the most fun Survivor rivalries you'll see in O-Day Survivor. Okay, so now we move on. We get past the merge. Gary plays the immunity idol at Final 9, keeping him safe, which sends Bobby John out. So we get to the Final 8. And Jamie starts driving people a little mad because Jamie keeps asking Rafe. It's like, you gonna keep to the 6? You're not gonna vote me out, are you? You're not gonna vote me out, are you? And Ray's like, no, I'm not going to vote you out. And Ray's like, if he asks me one more time, if I'm going to vote him out, I'm going to vote him out. Well, guess what happens? You going to take me to Final 6? You're not going to vote me out, are you? So Ray, along with Stephanie and everyone, decides, let's get rid of Jamie. Let's keep people who we think actually deserves to be in there. So they get rid of Jamie. And Jamie has a great line at the end when he gets voted out. He's like, blindside knife. Nice. That's how you vote somebody out. A very, very good little move by them. Alright, so then we move on to the next episode where basically Gary gets voted out pretty easily because he's a big threat. So we get to the final 6. So we have this alliance. We start to build Rafe starts building this alliance with Danny. And Danny and Rafe kind of wants to get rid of Judd because he doesn't trust him all the way. And Danny played it very smart, basically saying how Judd wanted to take out all the strong competitors in this game. I think Judd was more lying to Danny more than anything. But Danny kind of Stephanie bought it and got rid of Judd, which is probably one of Stephanie's really moves that really screwed her in eventually. Well, that and probably the Lydia vote in a little bit. So yeah, so they take out Judd, and Judd also has one of those great Survivor one-liners where he's like, thanks guys, I hope you all get bitten by a crocodile. Scumbags. I mean, just like a great final line because, he was pissed because he was going to take Stephanie probably to the finals because they had that bond, and Stephanie really probably shouldn't have done that. That's probably one of her biggest mistakes was probably taking out was taking out Judd, and then the next vote they take out Cindy, another person they really promised to go to the Final Four. And that's the thing about Stephanie and Rafe's game was you can't write all these blank checks saying, yeah, I'm going to take you this far. But when the bank finally says, okay, where's this money that you're offering us when we get to the finals, and you're like, I just couldn't get there in time. I don't know what to do. And then they're like, well, you're gone. So, Rafe makes that final 2 deal. Well, he makes a deal with Danny. Danny tells him that I will take you to the finals if I win the final tribal council for the final 3. So Rafe has this incentive. It's like, well, maybe I should keep Danny. If I take Danny to the final 3 and I don't win the final immunity, then she can take me to the finals, and I don't have to get blood on my hands by taking out Stephanie. But he's played this very moral game where he took people who deserved to be there, and he just couldn't hold up to the end, basically releasing Danny from the agreement. And a big mistake that Stephanie and Rafe made was not getting rid of Danny at Final Four, because Lydia would not been able to handle that challenge, because even she says, I'm not good at the physical competitions. If you take me out, then that's pretty much guaranteed you Final 2. And, and I do like Stephanie brings up a good point at the reunion show, where she basically says that her and Rafe played the exact same game. They both betrayed more people. Really, Rafe kind of started a lot of the game plan to get rid of people, but I guess it was more personal for Stephanie on the jury side, is just because she made all these personal relationships and she kind of went back on them, so she really pissed off 3 people. That's 3 jury votes. So it's hard to do that. And then, Danny takes Stephanie to the finals, and Danny wipes the floor with her. She wins 6-1. And do I think Stephanie played a better game than Danny? Absolutely, I believe that. Because Danny was involved in every move, and that's how I like my Survivor winners to play. Blood on their hands, makes the moves, not afraid to make the moves. Danny, she played the best game that she was given, because she was down in numbers. She played what Chris played in Survivor Vanuatu, just a different kind of version of that. And but she didn't do all the lying and deceiving. She did make that move on to turn the vote on Judd. And so she did do a little bit of it, but she was nowhere near. She didn't get her hands as bloody as what Chris did in Vanuatu. So it's a very similar game to what he played, but it's just a little different. And that's the beauty of this game, because she was so down in numbers, and for her to be able to stick around, build that trust with Rafe, and get to the final tribal council, it's still pretty impressive. I'm not taking away from her. Do I think she deserved to win over Stephanie? No. Do I think there's a little bit of a better jury? Absolutely. But you can't backstab so many people and expect them to vote for you. Not when you build these great personal relationships with these people that Stephanie was doing. So that was Stephanie's undoing in this game, and she's got no one to blame to lose this game but herself. And if she realizes that, she probably's not going to win because of that. So yeah, guys, this was a very enjoyable season of Survivor. I do really like it. It's not one of my favorite seasons. It's probably more in the lower tier of the seasons I've watched so far. But I still really enjoyed Guatemala. I thought it was a very enjoyable season. So guys, that ends another episode of the Evolution of Survivor Strategy. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm getting ready to move on to Survivor Exile Island. Some great characters getting ready to come up. Sari, Shane, Aris, Danielle, the Super Idol. I mean, so many, and Exile Island. It's cool to see that twist for the first time on this rewatch. So, alright guys, so I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Make sure you check out the other podcasts on this YouTube channel, the Darth Easy Show YouTube show, where I talk about all kinds of other stuff too. Also, make sure you check out the main Darth Easy YouTube channel. Right now, I've been posting my top 100 movies of all time, so make sure you check that out now. And guys, until next time, all too easy.